This war stops now.
You are tired of the war. I can see on your face.
End the war. Bring freedom to our people.
This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time.
Let's stop! Listen to me! Stop!
No. No more tricks. No more lies. Only truth.
Are you ready for a war?
I know you can fight, but it's our wits that make us men.
Welcome to the Stop and Listen podcast. I am your host, Jamie. I had a very interesting day, and I'm excited to talk to you guys about it. Joining myself a late coffee. Got this from my step-grandmother for Christmas. It's I'll cherish it until I break it. It's got, like, the handles are a little short, so it's kind of hard to... You kind of got to two-hand it. I seen on Facebook that a Dr. Bob Onder, who's running for Lieutenant Governor of Missouri. Now, I've seen that name around. No idea anything about him. But I've seen that he was going to be giving a campaign speech or something or other very close to where I live. So I'm like, well, I'm going to go. So I go, and so it's like a birthday party / campaign. So a lot of waiting around. Didn't really know what to expect, but a lot of waiting around. And there's a lot of, handshaking amongst the Blazer folks. And eventually he got up there, and I wouldn't be surprised if he had AI write that speech for him. Like, what do people on the right want to hear? Like, we got a little grab bag and Afghanistan pull out and Biden, and, immigration, the border. Nothing's out. Now, this fella is running for Lieutenant Governor of Missouri. And he spoke for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes maybe. And I don't even think he mentioned the state of Missouri. And it was just like... So we got Bob Onder's website that is one page with a YouTube video on it, and then you can donate. Doesn't say in his policies. It probably depends on the crowd he's in front of. I don't know. I got to step away real quick. I got to run out to my car. I forgot that there's a little handout that I got from Bob, and some of his talking points that I wanted to go over, and I thought it'd be on his website, but it's not. So I got to run out to my truck. So I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. So nothing on the guy's website. And apparently all of Bob Onder could be summed up here. He wants to be elected governor. And that would mean he's like the vice president of Missouri. Like so when we had Eric Greitens step down, I believe he stepped down. He's kind of being pushed out. I believe that's how we got our current governor, whose name is escaping me. But Dr. Bob Onder, I also seen from the presentation that he's also the attorney. So the first thing he lists is that the only candidate endorsed by Missouri Right to Life. Only candidate endorsed by Missouri Right to Life. So Right to Life is, I suppose they've probably done a lot of good in this world. There are probably people alive now because of their work. But they're also hypocrites. And they're a bit of fraudsters. Recently, in the state of Louisiana, they had the votes to completely make abortion illegal across the board in Louisiana, and they had the votes. And then now Speaker Mike Johnson, who used to be a state rep from Louisiana, but had graduated to Congress. He started fighting against it along with right to life. And he was just concerned politically, like, it's just not going to go over well. We're going to end up losing seats. Just don't do it. So anyway, that was a criticism of Mike Johnson. But similar behavior wouldn't surprise me here. Because he did not actually say the word abortion during his speech. Now, protecting your Second Amendment rights. Now, in Missouri, we have very liberal gun laws. And it doesn't hurt us too bad. It works out pretty well. But, I'm not going to give him too much kudos for not infringing on our rights as much as other states do. And he says, securing our borders from illegal aliens. As lieutenant governor? Like, what? Supporting law enforcement. As lieutenant governor, is he going to put him up in his house? Is he going to, pay part of their salary? Like, what do you mean supporting them? Because that's a local... there's a state police, of course. It's just positive things about cops. Oh, okay. Well, then you must be on our side because I have positive feelings about cops. Fighting the woke agenda. Served as delegate for Donald Trump in 2016. All right. Nothing about schools. In my state and your state, it's all the same. I believe the needs. We need cameras in schools. I'm going to keep saying that on this show, and maybe somebody has got a little bit of a bigger voice, more influence. Maybe we can get the ball rolling in their own state. But we need cameras in schools. The teachers need to be held responsible for what's coming out of their mouth. And as a practical purpose, if a student misses class or doesn't understand anything, they can go back home and watch it again. So it's got practical purposes. There's no reason not to. They're alone with our children. I would much rather have a camera in the classroom. Then school choice. So I say you do these at the same time, but the school choice you got to get certified and everything. So it's going to be rolled out a little bit later, which was good. Put cameras in the classroom, which they're going to fight like hell, but get cameras in the classroom. So you got you got 2 years of cameras in the classroom for the teachers to clean up their act. So it'll all work out well. He didn't talk about that. Now, as far as, illegal immigrants, obviously there's nothing you can do about it because the governor of Texas, that's on the border, shares the biggest border with Mexico, can't do anything about it. So I don't know what the lieutenant governor of Missouri is going to do. What he could do, not that all people, yes, all people who coming over the border illegally are illegal, but not all of them are criminals beyond that. But there certainly are many, you would have to assume, just because most of the footage is that of fighting age men, which are statistically going to be the highest rate of criminals. What we could do is just generally enforce the laws. Stop letting people out of prison in our states, especially when they're violent. Let's have a prison for, murders, and then maybe a prison for just violent people, and then for a prisons for nonviolent people. But if people are violent, you put them in prison. No plea deals. It's not going to be fun. That would kind of get away. So if people are illegal or not, if they got ill intentions, maybe they'll stay out of Missouri. Or if you're already here, you have to leave if you don't want to change. That would be a great policy. Oh, look. So we just transform. So education. Let's go further in education, actually. Here's what we... I know this is like borderline socialism, so, But for the kids, I think we can, all chip in. I think breakfast should be served at school for free for all students. You don't need. I don't want to embarrass any kind of embarrassment having little cards and having them refilled. So just give the kids free food. I mean, of course, you can have some extra stuff that you can, sell them that isn't part of the, but free lunch and breakfast for students so they can have something in their belly so they can focus and not be a disruption in the classroom. If the kid didn't have much supper last night and they come to school and they didn't have any breakfast and they're just waiting for lunch, they're not going to be paying attention. They're probably going to be getting other kids distracted as well. Also, a problem with me that I learned growing up, and it wasn't from a lack of money or anything. I can't see without glasses or contacts. I have contacts in now, and that's mostly what I wear. When I was younger, I had I couldn't see. I didn't have contacts. That was really early on in the contact, deal. But I always had glasses. My parents always, they made sure I had glasses, but they weren't very attractive glasses, and I wasn't. I was a, self-conscious little kid, and I chose not to wear them. Now, that shouldn't be an option. They should have been able to determine that I cannot see without my glasses. So if I'm going to be in school, I need to be wearing glasses. But further, I think schools should give eye exams to students, and if they need glasses, the school should purchase them for the student, and then at least make sure that one pair stays at the school so they don't go home and break them and then come to school the next day and they don't have glasses. School glasses, so they can see what is going on and they can learn. Because my attention span, until I got older and willed it, forced it upon myself, my attention span was about how long my eyes could focus without glasses or contacts. So I mean, if I'm trying to read something with nothing, it can be about 10 seconds and it goes blurry. So that's why I struggle in school so much. And how many students around the country are struggling solely because of that purpose. That's a big number. So let's put some food in their bellies, make sure they can see what's going on, and we can have a better education system. Put criminals in jail, educate students. Wow. Hell of a platform. And I'm not a doctor or attorney. Bob Onder. But I did have a really nice conversation with a veteran, I think a Vietnam veteran. He had one of the, hats on. And we had a, real good discussion there. I was the only person I talked to there. He gave me his card. I hope I didn't lose it. Because a man like that, I'm sure I could learn a thing or two from. Then, I was leaving. I'm leaving, and there's a guy standing by the entrance exit with a big sign up. I slowed down, and it's like something about vaccines, and I didn't even really understand what he was saying. So, I slowed down and started. What's that mean? But cars kept pulling up behind me, and then I would turn around and kind of circle back. Eventually, I went and parked, got my car, and just started talking to the guy, and told him all about the RFK Jr. book. And yes, he was because apparently he used to work for Bob Onder. Dr. Bob Onder likes the vaccines. He trusts the vaccines across the board, from what this fellow was saying. So that's why he was out there. And I'm a little, after listening, I've always been a little suspicious. And then after listening to the RFK book, I'm really suspicious. And then, of course, hearing this and that about the COVID shots, I'm still not anti-vax. I don't know enough. I know my doctor keeps trying to give me a tetanus shot for some reason. I mean, good on that one, but it was I hope his name was Jason. I hope I meet Jason again. I hope maybe he'll be on here someday with me. It was just nice. It was something he was passionate about, but he was out in January. It was cold out on a Saturday holding up a sign, looking kind of crazy. And it looked kind of crazy because we just don't do that enough. We don't stand up for what we believe in, and we're too afraid to make a show about it. He could post on Facebook. That's what most people would do. I mean, of course, what he was posting would be probably removed pretty quickly, and he'd be banned. But still, I mean, let's just post to Facebook. So Dr. Bob Onder, well, let's watch his YouTube video, and I bet you he says word for word what he said today.
I'm Dr. Bob Onder. Today I'm announcing the launch of my campaign for the Republican nomination for Lieutenant Governor of the state of Missouri. For 20 years now, you have entrusted Missouri government to Republicans, both in the legislature and in statewide offices. Are you happy with the direction of our state? I will tell you, I believe that too many times Republicans have squandered the trust you've placed in them. I'm running because we can do so much better. Why would Republican politicians allow the sellout of 350,000 acres of Missouri farmland to communist China? Why don't Republican politicians do more to fight the invasion of our country by illegal aliens, human trafficking?
My goodness. Okay. Well, let's back this up. Let's hear this bullshit.
Missouri farmland to communist China. Why don't Republican politicians do more to fight the invasion of our country by illegal aliens, human trafficking?
What are Missouri politicians supposed to do about that? Strengthen the laws. And if people break the laws, regardless whether they're illegal or not, lock them up. If they're violent, lock them up.
And fentanyl. Why don't they tell the Biden administration that we won't aid and abet?
So Missouri Republican politicians should be tweeting at Biden, writing them letters.
Illegal immigration, and we don't want Palestinian terrorist so-called refugees. Why, when Missourians are struggling with high inflation?
He's saying a lot of different things than he did at the event today, but it's just a different grab bag of the hot topics on the right.
And gas prices, would they impose on us the largest tax increase in Missouri history, a massive gas tax hike, fund Planned Parenthood, and endlessly expand welfare programs that you have to pay for? And why won't Missouri Republican politicians do something about the crisis in Missouri education and empower parents so that our children will learn math and reading and writing, not the woke agenda? And why won't they, once and for all, without loopholes, ban the grooming and mutilation of our kids in the name of gender ideology and empower parents to do something about the crisis in Missouri education and empower parents so that our children will learn?
The crisis is in the classroom. So I talked about it a lot on the OG version of this podcast when it happened. The next town over, or I guess the school district I would be in for where I live, the Attorney General of Missouri sued because the Board of Education was going behind the people's back trying to do something about the transgender policy. So after that, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go and check it out. And yeah, there was talk of that, and there was a racist talk, but the teachers are just so they're the ones who inspired this idea that we have to have cameras in the classroom. But there was one teacher was screeching at the board because it was their fault that she didn't have a reading plan and her kids her students couldn't read. I don't know what a reading plan is. You read a child a book, you point to the words as you say them, then you show them the ABCs and how that works on words and to form words, and eventually you grow into sentences like, we need cameras in the classroom. here's the thing. So my entire life, we've been just beaten over the head with how amazing teachers are and how hardworking they are and overworked and underpaid and blah, 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 blah. Which there's some truth to that, and the education system should be revamped for sure. Not saying that teachers have it easy, but putting cameras in the classroom would be a pretty good indication on where they're at. Because if they're the heroes that they are made out to be so often, they should want cameras in the classroom. It could lead to a reality show, or, I don't know, becoming famous. I don't know, could. It's possible. If people were like, man, did you just see what she has to deal with every day? No, I wasn't going to vote for that tax increase, but, she deserves it. That's not that much to sacrifice. So it's a good move. It's a smart political move. And there is no chance that I don't think any politician will actually try it. Oh, another idea. School districts. I don't live in St. Louis is in a different county than I am. There's like 7 school districts in my county. And we're not talking, it's not a huge population. That's too top heavy. Each school district, and I think there are places like that. I think maybe California might even be like that. But each school district should be like a county. Each county should be over this whole entire school district. And then perhaps then the superintendent of that school district is an elected position, or at least appointed by politicians that are elected. Sounds good to me.
Learn math and reading and writing, not the woke agenda. And why won't they, once and for all, and without loopholes, ban the grooming and mutilation of our kids in the name of gender ideology? I'm running for lieutenant governor because we can do so much better. I'm the conservative in this race, a race where my opponents too many times have supported the destructive policies I just mentioned. When I
went to that school board meeting, I kind of looked around, I'm like, why are the state reps here? Because it made the news, the Attorney General suing. It made national news. Just a little blip, but it was there. I'm working on my hands, folks. I'm working on my hands. I thought, well, why are the state reps here? So I looked into finding what state's reps overlaps with the school district in which I was at, and I found at least 3, and I emailed them all, and all of them responded. One I actually spoke to on the phone for almost an hour, and that was pretty cool, and that wasn't even my rep. I think we were on the same side technically, but we just didn't agree on the methods, I believe, really at all. And then my rep just completely blew me off, and I was at home with my daughter. I've never met the guy, and that's when it just dawns on me. It's like even on all the local levels, they don't give a shit about us. They really don't care. That's why. This is making me think. This guy. I said I've only voted for one party. You can probably guess what party that is. See, because of my belief system, there's no other where to go. The Democrats, just from the historical injustices that they've done, I could never do that. And libertarians, you can't be a libertarian and be against abortion as I am. So we can try to start a new party when the Libertarian Party can't even barely get off the ground, or we could take over the Republican Party. That's what I think we should do. I think this shit where they just feed us lies, and if you're a Democrat, you see the same thing. I know you do. See, I've been going on for 30 minutes. I haven't even got to what I was going to talk about today. So I'm just going to call this and make this an episode. I had a whole thing about Trump. several stories about Trump, and I'm not going to make this an hour-long podcast. So, Bob Onder, doctor. I can't imagine having a law degree and a medical license. I mean, quite an achievement, but you know. To all you politicians out there who are just looking for votes,
you're a lying piece of shit.
Gotcha.
I think we the people just have to. I mean, it's so bad now. But I've been voting to try to keep the other person out of the White House. Pretty much the entire time I've been voting, and that's the part of the problem. I guess you just should have just let it happen, and maybe we could have rebounded by now. I'm going to turn around and do another one, but I've rambled on for over 30 minutes now, so I'll probably get this edited down by about 22 minutes, 25 minutes. We're at 33 now. So, thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, follow, comment, and do all the things. I've been getting more interaction. It's good to see. So thank you very much. I'll see you next time.